Welcome back everyone. Today I wanted to share with you a project that I've been working on for quite some time, and it is upgrading the recent Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Skiff Guard repack with ball jointed hips. Now, don't get me wrong, these characters from TVC 1.0 are definitely some amazing figures, and we're very fortunate to have them in the vintage collection. These type of alien background mercenaries are some of my personal favorites, but unfortunately these figures do come with swivel hips, which in my opinion is just unacceptable these days, especially considering the type of articulation we're seeing with our newer figures, and then the price. $17 for swivel hips is just unacceptable in my opinion. Additionally, I don't really care for just putting my figures on a shelf and having them kind of stand there. I like to put them in dynamic poses and also put them to the test in my toy photography. So of course, I just knew that these characters had to get upgraded because I wanted better versions of them for both of those things. So with that being said, let's take a look at how I improved these figures for my collection. So there's two things you're going to need for this project, and one of them, of course, is the vintage collection Kithaba that was recently repacked, or if you have an older one kind of sitting around, and then the vintage collection Attack of the Clones Anakin, whose legs we'll be using for this project. Now, he's got ball jointed hips, but they're a little bit of an older system, but they check out, sir. And I'm mainly using him because I got a bunch of these for a very low price on Amazon back when they were kind of clearancing them out, and it's pretty much worked for a couple of projects like these. Namely, I upgraded my Mandalorian Clatoonian Raiders with these legs, and you can check out that video, and yeah, it was a pretty simple upgrade, but that's the reason we're going to be using Anakin. Fill a measuring cup with 1.5 to about 2 cups of water and heat it in the microwave for 5 minutes. Then pour it into a disposable plastic container. Note that you will want to use a separate container due to the plastic chemicals released when action figures are boiled. You will not want to contaminate a kitchen item that you plan to use in the future. The hot water will soften the plastic, making it malleable and allowing for easy disassembly. Using the pair of pliers to avoid burning yourself, remove the figure and then apply force to detach the legs and additional belt piece from the torso. You will also want to remove the lower legs from the thighs as well, and I'd recommend keeping them around for a future custom. Next, take Kithaba out of the hot water bath and repeat the same steps to fully disassemble the figure for necessary parts that will be used for this custom upgrade, which will essentially be the lower legs and upper body. In order to put everything back together, you simply reheat all the parts in the hot water bath and pop them back into place. Luckily, the tooling and pegs on these two vintage collection figures does not require any additional modifications, like dremeling or cutting pegs down to ensure a better fit, which makes this an easy custom if you choose to try and upgrade these figures for your collection. While it wasn't entirely necessary, I did modify Woof by slicing off Anakin's tooling for the original torso peg, which I then fused together with a safety pin and super glue. This made everything fit better and ensured Woof wouldn't be too tall when compared to the other figures. Next, we have to color match Anakin's upper legs to each of the Skiff Guards respectively. For Kithaba, I opted to use a mixture of red, orange, yellow, and brown acrylic paints to achieve the warm color used for his trousers. There is no easy way to color match, so I suggest making a mixture and then applying it to the peg of the lower legs until the closest match is achieved. Something to keep in mind is that paints will typically dry darker than they first appear, so proceed carefully until you are certain the color is right. Apply generous portions of the paint to the upper legs, ensuring full coverage, but not applying so much that unwanted paint strokes and texture are visible throughout. Remember, the lighter the application, the better. If you aren't fully satisfied with the color match or simply want a very consistent look, you can dry brush a light coat onto the knees to help blend everything together. The painting process for the other two Skiff Guards is the same for the most part: paint mixtures and application. For Nikto's leg stripe, I opted to use a fine point paint marker from Posca, which made that process very easy. Woof, on the other hand, required a hefty application of paint to help bulk up the legs, which I then scored with an X-Acto blade to match the texture of his pants, finishing off everything with a highlight color. Lastly, once everything was painted to my liking, I sealed the parts with a light dusting of matte clear coat by Krylon. Now to reassemble everything. Heat up some additional water for 5 minutes and submerge Kithaba's upper body in the hot water bath. Place the soft goods skirt on the legs and simply insert the peg into the torso. This should require little to no effort as the peg fits easily and will remain secure once in place. For the legs, I would suggest heating up the peg on the lower leg for about 10 seconds and then inserting that into the freshly painted parts. This will help prevent the hot water from burning or damaging any of the paint on these custom figures. Something that I really enjoyed about this kit bash and would like to point out is that by using the lower legs with painted tops to match, there will not be any paint rubs on the knee joints, exposing a non-matching color. Furthermore, the ball joints on the side are crafted in a way that they avoid paint rubs as well. The only rubbing is on the inner parts, which is not too noticeable in my opinion. Taking a look at each of these upgraded skiff guards next to the original figure, it has to be said that they really do look much better. Even in a neutral stance, these are big improvements to my collection. As you can see, the figure now has ball jointed hips, and this added articulation will allow the skiff guard a far wider range of motion when compared to the standard release. The added articulation is a huge upgrade, and I'm very happy to have solved this issue with a very simple fix that I can share with the community. Kithaba and the rest of Jabba's goons are certainly ready to handle any and all business on Tatooine. Jabba's henchman, known only as Nikto, was severely limited in his range of motion. It could not achieve dynamic fighting stances needed to combat Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight aboard the prisoner Skiff. I guess you can blame his demise on those horribly outdated swivel hips, which should be tossed away in the Sarlacc pit in my opinion. Woof is one of my favorite TVC 1.0 figures and was incredible for the time. The soft goods, accessories, and sculpting were top notch. But now armed with ball jointed hips, this figure is simply wonderful and very worthy of display. I hope you've enjoyed this video and taking a look at my quick fix for the Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Skiff Guard repacks. Hopefully it will help anyone who's looking to enhance their collection. But be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Did you enjoy this video? Are you tired of outdated articulation? I want to hear about it. And don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is always greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone, and may the Force be with you.